Hey, listen, throwing shade on something is usually a bad thing, but not on a coffee farm. Find out more here on Bean Basics on the Road. Oh, hey there. Welcome to Bean Basics on the Road with Bob and Michelle. We're here in sunny Nicaragua, and we are at the
Recreo Coffee Estate.
Coffee Estate. Yes, it's one of our farm direct relationships. We love this farm very much, but we're on site today. And we're in a coffee field. We're in a lower field at about 1,000 meters. This farm goes up to about 1,500 meters. But, you know, there are many factors that make quality coffee. One of them might be organic practices. But one that I really wanted to talk about today is the use of shade grown, right? And so here we are at this big tree here.
Oh, our friend has disappeared.
He's right here.
Oh, there he is.
He's right here.
He's a really spiky looking caterpillar.
But if you pan up for a moment, you can see, and take it around that way if you can, that there's a canopy here. And the thing to know about growing coffee, specifically the Arabica variety, in order to perform at its best, needs to be in partial shade. And so this farm has about 30-40% shade depending where you are on the farm. And the thing that shade does is that it actually slows the maturation of the coffee cherry itself, right? It slows down that process. It's the same thing that high altitude does for growing a coffee cherry. It slows down the process, and the longer it takes to ripen, the better it will taste in the end. There are people that grow Arabica with clear-cut trees. That's just really bad. First of all, the bean ripens too quickly. The coffee fruit cherry ripens too quickly. But the other thing is it's just really bad for the environment, right? These are all indigenous trees here. And what you're trying to do is preserve the ecosystem, right? You want the local insects to be here. You want the things that eat the insects to be here, the frogs, the snakes, the toads, and so on and so forth.
Not to mention the fact that you want the tree's roots to hold the soil together. You know, like last year they got 2 hurricanes.
2 hurricanes, right.
And the reason that there are still coffee plants here is because it's shade grown and the trees held the mountain together.
That's right. Now the Arabica bush has a rather shallow root system, and so there are parts of the farm that were damaged by the hurricane where these coffee plants are tipping to the left and that kind of thing. But we're always vulnerable to the elements, whether it's too much rain, too little rain, hurricanes, and that kind of thing. But shade grown too. Sometimes you're planting a new coffee field and there's not a big tree just waiting for you to be there. And so you might, until you establish a tree, use something like a banana tree. And I don't know if you can get back over there and see those banana leaves.
Kind of see those big old banana leaves over there.
So when you're revitalizing a field, you might plant some banana trees initially, but you have to be careful because that banana tree will just suck up all the potassium out of the soil. As we know, when we eat bananas, it's good for you because there's so much potassium in it. But hey, these coffee plants need that potassium too. So at some point you got to cut down that banana tree, let that potassium return to the earth, to the soil. And then hopefully by that time your larger tree has built enough of a canopy that it can begin to protect these sweet plants right here.
And shade has to be actively managed. As much as they spend time pruning the coffee trees,
they do also have to trim these larger trees here. And some trees are better than others, right? Sometimes the canopy on them is so thick that they have to take too many branches off, and it's too hard to manage because the tree's so high. But some have a very leafy, light filtering system that's a little bit better. So maybe we'll see some other trees as we walk through the farm here today. But until that moment, we have this to say.
When you love the world
will love you right back. Hey, thanks for joining us. For future episodes, click the subscribe button. Bean Basics is brought to you by One Big Island in Space.com with 2 G's.